Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the ice, Amateur Sports TV. As you can see in the top corner, this is one of my favorite times of the year to start looking at the innovations, the technology. Seasons are starting, and of course, there's going to be some brand new ideas. And of course, you got to retool the weaponry, so to speak, for all the dangles, for all the goals, for all the assists. And what a better chance to do that with a new stick, perhaps. Well, we're going to talk to both Richard Fucillo and Aaron Krause, who are part of a company called TOVI Hockey on the East Coast. I'm amazed by this stick. Outside of the research that I figured and looked at over the last week or so, this is truly an innovative product, and I can't do it justice to talk about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Richard and Aaron in, and they're going to explain the beginnings of the product, the beginning of their thought process, and through all of this journey, where they see this product going in the future. So please welcome Richard and Aaron here to On the Ice. As promised, Richard in the top corner, Aaron Krause looking very professional in his office as well. Gentlemen, thanks for taking the time today to talk a little hockey with me, as well as a little bit of product innovation. I know, Aaron, you've got about 20 years under your belt, not just with hockey, but abrasive sponges, or non-abrasive sponges, I should say, correct?
Non-abrasive. And let's not show my age, but it's 30 years experience at this point.
I mean, quite a story of your entrepreneurship, I'll say.
Thank you.
Outdone, not outdone, is Richard and his years of experience, not just in hockey, but all sports in general. I mean, you're currently coaching with a football with a college, I believe.
Yeah, I coach down at Curry College here in Eastern Massachusetts.
You say that so humbly, you know, I just coach football in Eastern Mass, you know, just doing what I do best. And I just have you both gentlemen on to talk about a little bit about hockey. So let's get right to it. First and foremost, how did you two gentlemen begin this relationship and say to yourselves, okay, I've got a great product. How do I make it even better? So let's start with you, Richard.
Well, Tovi Avneri and I started the company a couple of years before Aaron got involved. Thank God he got involved. We'd still be in the shop right now, frankly. But Tovi and I decided we were going to build a better football helmet. And we started out on that journey, and then before you know it, we had the best hockey stick ever made in the history of hockey sticks. And we were at it for a couple of years, and with a company called Carbon Sports, and then entered the famous scrub daddy, Aaron Krause. He played Shark Tank with us, and before you know it, he became one of our business partners, and he rebranded us and made us basically what we are today, frankly.
Aaron, finish off the story.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, he's been as humble as he was about his coaching and the extent that he gives his time to kids. You know, he and Tovi is an incredible engineer with many patents, and someone that I really respect almost as a mentor with some of the inventions that he's come up with already. And really, the two of them were trying to develop better products that were made out of carbon fiber. They end up hooking up with another guy up in the New Hampshire area. Actually, it's in Boston, right? No, it's just north of Boston.
Just north of Boston. New Hampshire, just north of Boston. New England. Yep.
And this guy is manufacturing carbon fiber product in a very unique way. Instead of layering them, which is the normal process, he's doing a process where he actually is crushing them in a mold and forming a solid carbon fiber part that's literally stronger than steel. Now, the background for me is, you know, I'm an inventor. I've got 30 years experience. I actually have over 30 patents now. And, you know, my biggest claim to fame is the Shark Tank piece of it, where I invented, you know, the world's greatest smiley face sponge. But I love inventions and I love innovation. And that's what I do for work. But what I do for passion is I play ice hockey, and I've been playing since I was a child. I actually played in college, and in college is where I found out that I suck and that I'm not going anywhere and that I'm going to end up having a real job. And so that's kind of what happened. And I've been playing since I graduated men's leagues, and I coach now. I'm a level 4 USA ice hockey coach. I coach my son's team, and I am a season ticket holder to the Philadelphia Flyers. You know, I'm looking in the background of your screen here, and I noticed you got some bobbleheads. I'm going to show you how sick I am. I have a bobblehead of me holding a bobblehead and a puck. That's how crazy I am about my Flyers and about ice hockey. And so it's a real passion of mine. While I was hoping to be in the NHL one day, when the opportunity showed itself for me to potentially be in the NHL, maybe not myself, but an invention and a company that I was involved in, I couldn't resist. And what these guys had done was the most innovative thing I'd seen in hockey sticks. They had taken the blade that I was used to seeing when I was a child called the airflow, and they had turned it into a completely open screen pattern. And it's anyone who's an inventor, anyone who has a scientific background understands what this is. This is aerodynamics. This means that everything is faster. I knew right away I had to start trying the stick out, but I didn't understand what the material was. I thought it was for street hockey. And it wasn't until one day I was coaching my ice hockey team and I broke my $200 stick and I needed another stick to finish coaching. So I just went to my car and got this thing, and I thought I'll finish, the practice with it. Well, I cranked off my first shot with it, and I realized that was the fastest shot I've taken in 20 years. And then I said, I'm going to break this thing. And I just started, whaling shots off, clappers one after another. Nothing would touch it. And I had an unusually good feel about the way the puck was on my stick. It was like the old wood sticks where there was a solid blade, and I could feel the puck everywhere around the stick. And I really liked that. And I loved that there was no tape all over my stick that was getting chopped up and pieces all over the ice, and I could retape it. I had better control. I had better velocity. I had better puck feel. And I was like, wow, this stick is incredible. Now, it just so happens that particular season was the first season that the youth are allowed to take slap shots. And if you're familiar with hockey, up to a certain point, they're only allowed to take wrist shots and maybe some snappers, but they're not allowed to take full-on clap bombs. My son had the worst slap shot I ever seen. I mean, he could barely lift the puck off the ice. It was embarrassing. And he went from being the top scorer on the team to he hadn't scored a goal in like 8 games, and he was really frustrated. And so I thought, I'm going to get him one of these sticks with the holes in it and see what happens. He ripped off a shot. It was the fastest shot I ever saw in the middle of a game from the blue line and put it right over the goalie's shoulder, and nobody could believe who it was. And when he came over, I said, Bryce, was that you? He said, yeah. I said, no, it wasn't. It was the stick. And that became the joke going forward. And that's the point at which I realized that I needed to be involved in this company because I could see some things that weren't being done right. For instance, this is not graphics that are going to make it in the NHL or anywhere else. They were calling the company Carbon Sports Airblade. It wasn't going to fly in marketing. And so I called them up and I said, you guys know who I am? They said, yeah. I said, I'm going to play Shark Tank. I would like this much of the company. I want a seat on the board. I want control of the brand and the marketing. And they said, yep. And we ended up doing the deal. And I literally said, guys, the first matter of business is we're changing the name of the company. Well, they didn't really like that too much.
I mean, Richard, this is your baby. What did you say? When you first heard that? I mean, here's a guy that's, you know him a little bit, not too much more than a hole in a wall, but here's a guy that comes in and just basically Mark Cubans you and says, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want done. This is how I want it done. And we're changing the name.
I tell
Taking
you
your
what,
baby like that, how did you feel?
He's an influential guy. He's very influential, and he's a good guy. We actually became very good friends right away on the first dinner. So it was very easy. And we knew he was right. TOVI and I and Scott, I have a background in financial services. I was a divisional president for a major investment company for 25 years, in addition to my coaching. And I had no retail experience. Neither did TOVI, who's an engineer and a scientist, and Scott, who's a material scientist. He didn't have any either. So it was actually a no-brainer. And it made a lot of sense. Everything he told us made a lot of sense. We hit it off right away. We have great synergies. within our board, within our organization. No, it wasn't hard at all to let go of the old Carbon Sports.
He should back up. It wasn't hard for them to agree that we needed to change the name, but it wasn't until I told them what the name was going to be, and that literally took me several weeks. They said, "Okay, what's the name?" I said, "I don't know it yet. I need to work on it, and we need to work on all the different elements of your branding and your marketing here, because it's not the Carbon, Sports Airblade stick. There's a company name, there's model names, and then there's the technology names, and we need to differentiate all of those. And so the first thing I started working on was looking at all the different companies that are out there, and Bauer and CCM and Warrior and True, and seeing who are my competitors, what are they doing. And CCM was really interesting. It's a very small logo. It fits really nicely onto a stick. Your hands don't block it. So I tried to put Richard and Scott and Tovi's name, first names, last names, try to move it around, make 3 letters that look good. And as I'm in my second hour of doing that, I look down at the paper and it just jumps out at me. It's TOVI. It's TOVI. It is 4 letters that can fit beautifully onto a stick. It can be in a position that your hands don't block it while you're playing, and it has movement. It gives me an O, and in that O I can put a diamond, because this is an air blade. These are a bunch of diamonds, and diamonds are made of?
They're made of under pressure.
But what is the material? It's pure carbon.
Yeah.
Pure carbon. And this is solid molded carbon. It is stronger than steel. And so calling it diamond, which is what they look like and what it actually is, so the technology became the Diamond Air Blade, which we've now trademarked. And then I started working on, we need to have 3 different models of our sticks. And the first
before you get to that, real quick, because Aaron, you bring up hold that stick up again. Because the last time I checked, when players are taking shots or they're doing replays or they're doing anything around a net, you're seeing those 4 bright orange letters directly above a blade. And
I've got them twice.
And
I got them here in an outline.
Yeah.
And I got them down here. So wherever you put your hands, we've also got it on the sides. So this is the way you brand your stick and your company. And then the next thing that you do is we had to create the brands that were going to be the models. And we had already heard from many goalies that when the guy's coming down the ice and he's about to rip off a shot with this, the puck is like, you can't see it in here. It literally disappears. And it creates what we call a mirage. And that mirage effect is where the first name of a stick came from. And that was our flagship. The first stick we came out was the Mirage. The second stick we came out with was named the Sabotage, because I like the way the 2 things sounded together, and I'm a big Beastie Boys fan.
I was just going to say, you got to be a 92 Beastie Boys fan for sure on that one.
And the third one was the Barrage, because of it is our highest tech stick. It's our lightest stick, and it just rips off shots so fast. It puts a barrage on the net. And I love how all the names sounded together and blended together. And now they're all trademarked. And now we have a company, a brand, models, and technology. The next thing that I did was our stick, you don't tape it, right? If you tape it, you lose all the attributes of having this open air pattern, right?
Yeah.
So ours comes with a sticky, gritty coating on here. And it's so sticky. I love showing this. We can put a piece of paper on here, right? And the paper just sticks to the blade. That's how sticky it is. And if you look close, it's also got grit in it. It's almost like sandpaper. And it grabs the puck better than any tape. It is a hydrophobic coating, so water and ice are ejected from it. Any ice goes through the blade. It doesn't build up on your wet, soggy tape, which, by the way, after one period, the tape's all wet and you're losing most of your grip. That doesn't happen ever with ours. But what does happen is after maybe 20 games, it starts to wear. And so you need a consumable. And so I invented the Diamond Coat liquid tape. And basically this tape comes in single-use tubes with a brush. You open it, you paint it onto the blade front and back, throw the tube out, and get dressed. By the time you're dressed, it's a solid, gritty, sticky coating, and it lasts almost 20 games. See if your tape lasts one period.
Exactly. When I saw that, Aaron, I was like, okay, not only are you reinforcing the idea of aerodynamics by not putting tape on it, which is, you ask any player, the first thing they want to do is tape their stick.
Right.
It's the beauty and the technology and the science behind it, with adding that extra grip on it after a little bit of use of wear, that maintains the efficiency of the stick throughout the entire usage. Now, one thing that I have to ask you about the blade, is it a one-piece concept throughout the shaft of the stick as well? Because when I look at other sticks, they have a thin carbon, like most of it is carbon, most of it is, a strong one-piece type stick. But if you ever looked at when you break a blade, there's a foam inside it, or there's some kind of second element or second component to it, which takes away from the strength of the stick, but it adds, some form of lightness or lightweightness to it. But again, when you add a second element, it's not as strong as one complete compound. You also comment on your website, and this is one thing I was truly interested in, is the pop off a stick. Now, Richard, if you can kind of hop on this one, because you take 1,000 shots, that stick has got those micro fractures and whatnot. Seeing the weave and how the diamond is put together technologically, that pop doesn't go away with the stick. It stays for quite a while, for almost forever, really.
It does stay forever. In fact, you could theoretically take 1,000,000 cycles or 1,000,000 shots hitting a frozen puck at 100 miles an hour, and it will not fracture this stick. It will not soften it. It will not delaminate it. It won't come apart. Unlike the stick that Aaron's holding up, which has a flimsy foam core wrapped with a tiny layer of unidirectional carbon fiber, our fiber is 100% molded, multi-directional, stronger than steel, lighter than aluminum. It's really remarkable, is what it is.
And that's which is 100% right. And this is the game-changing technology. And I'm going to just back you up a little bit and give you some history of hockey sticks. Because when I grew up, sticks were made of a solid piece of wood. Right?
I still remember the Sherwood PMP 7050 with the solid core and the 11 wraps of laminate and Adam Oates and Ray Bork's name on the top of it. I sold them when I was 15 years old. I am going through those sticks and seeing what we're at today blows my mind, Aaron.
Yeah, I used to use the Titan, the Gretzky Titan stick.
The TP in 2020.
Yeah, it was as heavy as a tank. But here's the thing, wood gave you a little bit of flexibility, but then it would snap, right? But the blades were solid, and all the improvements that they tried to make over the years. First, they tried aluminum, right? They put an aluminum so it wouldn't break, and then they would put replacement blades in that were solid, right? But the aluminum didn't give it all. And then they started using fiberglass, right, which would give a little bit, but it was really heavy. Then they started using composites and finally carbon fiber. And that's really the major technology increase, is that we can dial in the flexibility now of our shaft. But the blade technology went backwards. So as we told you, these shafts and carbon fiber is usually a fabric dipped in an epoxy, wrapped around something, and then heated, and then it becomes a hard surface that's very strong. That's how they make the blade. They have to wrap it around something to take this shape, and they wrap it around a chintzy piece of styrofoam, okay? And what does that do? Well, first thing is, it does make it lighter, but it makes it really weak. And just like your shaft bends and flexes, now your blade bends and flexes, and it keeps squeezing into this foam core. The pros like to use their stick for all of one game, because after one game of this, the blade's shot. Ours, solid molded carbon fiber. It never loses its pop. And that is an incredible change in the technology. Now, we talked about this being light. Our sticks are actually some of the lightest sticks in the marketplace, but the weight in the blade is on purpose. It actually creates what we call a pendulum effect. So we're talking about momentum. Once you get that blade moving, which is easier to get it moving because it's not a sail capturing all the wind, it goes through the air, but once it's moving, It's really hard to stop it. And it hits the puck harder and faster, even on snapshots. And there's nothing that can really compete with us going forward, because this is what you're using now.
Rich, you want to say anything before we take a quick break?
No, I think Aaron's covered it pretty well.
It's amazing when you take, if you could take a cross section of a blade, like exactly like you said, and we'll talk about this after the break, because truly that pendulum and the aerodynamics can change your shot by many miles an hour. Your release is faster. Your composure with the puck on your blade changes. And like you said, there's so much technology involved here. Truly impressive what this stick does. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what TOVI hockey is now and where it is going to go in the future when we come back here on the ice.
At Super 8 Winnipeg West, we have your comfort in mind, with free Wi-Fi and free daily Superstart breakfast. We also have guest laundry facilities, a state-of-the-art fitness center, and a jetted hot tub. Sleep well in a spacious guest room equipped with plush new bedding, a 50-inch flat-screen HD TV, microwave, mini refrigerator, and Keurig coffee maker. Or book a suite with a kitchen, ideal for extended stays. Super 8 Winnipeg West, located just inside the perimeter on Portage Avenue.
With Aaron and Richard here, TOVI hockey. Aaron, you're holding all three sticks: the Barrage, the Sabotage, the Mirage, the Camouflage might be the fourth one. You
might have just named our next stick.
Just came up with a new name for us.
There we go. I'll have the first prototype with the Camouflage. I love how they all have the same rhyme. It's like you said. It's about marketing. It's about brand messaging. It's about being visible within the hockey world. We talked about the diamond blade. We talked about the one-piece construction. How else is this product superior than what you're seeing on the market? Before you get to that, you also mentioned that players in the NHL and pro hockey, they're using a stick for a game because they can afford it. For kids, moms, dads that have to go out and spend thousands of dollars, not just on association fees, but especially during a time like when we're dealing with pandemics and dealing with a little bit of number crunching for mom and dad, making that right choice and that right purchase couldn't be more important now than ever. But you're adding, like you said, better research, better technology, the development of the product, and seeing is truly believing. I mean, how is this product really far more superior in other ways?
Well, I have to say that one of the things we skipped over was the feel of the puck. The feel of the puck on this particular stick is absolutely amazing. It's very much like the old wood sticks, and you don't get that feel anymore out of the current carbon fibers because that foam core dampens the feel. You get the vibration of the puck wherever it is on the stick, and you can feel it all the time. So better puck control.
And now you don't wrap it up with a whole bunch of tape. I mean, honestly, people are bastardizing their blades. They wrap it with all kinds of tape, then they rub wax all over it. Like, this is the natural form of the stick and the blade, and it's actually grippier and stickier than any stick with tape and covered in a whole bunch of wax. But I love where you were going, because we're talking about durability. We're talking about this blade is so strong, it can be used on the concrete, on the ice, and on roller hockey. No other sticks can do that, right? This one, my son actually used this as the old Carbon Sports one. He used this one in his overnight camp for 8 weeks and wore the entire bottom down, but it still is usable. it's still solid. You don't hear that squeaking in this one.
No.
And the next thing is, as you pointed out, you need a stick that's durable for mom and dad, because these carbon fiber sticks are not cheap. Wood sticks used to be $20. Now you're paying 150 to 250, even higher for a stick. And that's why we created the new Mirage Junior. And this is going to be geared. See how small the stick is. Even the hand is built for youth, but the blade is our standard size blade. And Richard's going to tell you why.
Well, if you look at the puck at any level, this puck is always the same size. So why would a kid use a smaller blade when the puck is the same size no matter what level hockey you're playing at?
Right. So the blue puck and the black puck are different weights, but it's the same diameter. And so you need the same size blade to control that. We put this on the market. The kids are going nuts with it, and the parents love it. But you know who else loved it? We showed this stick, all of our line, to Gary Bettman at NHL headquarters. And his comments to me were, this is one of the biggest improvements in hockey stick technology I've seen in over a decade. And I wish I had the chance to outlaw carbon sticks, because the budgets went from old wood sticks, which was very cheap, to now the players are using the stick for one game and tossing the sticks out. If your stick could even last 2 games, you just cut the stick budgets in half. I'm interested. And the stick is currently at NHL headquarters being tested and should be approved, we hope, within a few weeks.
So that's the big hurdle right now. Well, it's not a big hurdle, but I mean, that would be an incredible hurdle to get the NHL and professionals using this stick, because last time I checked, 8-year-olds want the same stick 87's using or 97's using, or in Winnipeg, number 55, for example. I mean, we want that stick to be lit up, and we want that thing to pop right off every time. And 8-year-olds think they're danglers and goal scorers because Scheifele or Crosby or Connor are doing the exact same thing. And
David,
you know, it's just the way marketing is, right, Aaron?
Unfortunately, you know, it is a hurdle. It's not one that keeps us from being on the market. Getting NHL approval is just an endorsement, right? But of course, it opens the door for us to finally get an NHL player to start ripping some goals off. And of course, once we have that logo in the NHL, we know it's going to be really difficult to stop our company. But it doesn't mean that we're not legal. There is nothing that's not legal about this stick. We meet the width, the length, the thickness, the curve, and the materials. And those are all the rules of the NHL rulebook. And so we meet we meet the AHL, NHL, we meet USA Hockey. If you go and look at the rulebook, nothing says that you can or can't have holes in the blade. In fact, it says that you can bastardize your stick as much as you want. You can tape it up, rub wax all over it, spray paint it. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff, instead of having the actual technology that you really want, which is aerodynamics, no tape, no wind resistance, no ice buildup, better grip, better puck feel, and long-lasting durability.
Richard.
I took all his words.
Hey, Richard, I'm
stealing my thunder, Aaron.
I mean, I'm trying to figure this out, because I mean, to see this product. I mean, how come it took so long for someone to realize that diamonds are a man's best friend too?
Oh, it's pretty simple. This is not easy technology. This is the most high-tech stick that's ever been developed. You can't take a stick and just put a bunch of holes in it and take a slap shot, it'll explode. And even Richard explained, this took 4 years to develop.
Yeah. We got Scott Heitman, who's our material scientist, and he spent 40 years developing this material and building parts for the U.S. military. He's a remarkable scientist, and we use his technology to create this particular stick. Scott coupled with TOVI together, they're two brilliant men. They came up with these the diamond-shaped holes in the blade, and it's absolutely remarkable.
So is this similar material you'd see in the Army, like you said, like U.S. Army, like in guns and tanks and that kind of material you were talking about here?
Yeah, Scott Beck has been building parts for the U.S. military, he and his family, for over 40 years.
Wow.
And so just putting a bunch of holes in a stick, that ain't going to work. It has to be this material. We have 4 patents that protect the way that we make this. You can't just throw carbon fiber on here and squeeze it and hope that you got this blade. It will never work. In fact, the very first ones they told me about, when they started making it, every shot the stick would explode. And it took years and years of research before we got this.
So you can't compare it to any other stick out there, really. Because like you said, when you look at a lie of a stick, a flex of a stick, I mean, you change you change that stick as soon as you add tape to it, when you add wax to it, when you play with it for 2 periods and all that. This stick is in its true raw form, the way it's going to perform for you from shot 1 till shot 1 million, according to Richard.
Consistency.
Consistency. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's, I mean, it's truly amazing. I mean, like I said, I would name the 4th stick camouflage, because you can't see the puck off of it. And if I was a goaltender, I would be shaking my head saying, what is that? Because I would think it's...
Yeah, I'll tell you one other thing that we hear from goaltenders all the time. When you take a shot with this, first of all, when the puck hits it, it just absorbs the energy, and the puck sticks to here like it's glued there. But the second thing is, when you shoot with it, you can't hear it. It's not like that hollow sound that comes off. So first thing is, the goalie sees something coming and he can't figure out where the puck is on the stick. The next thing is he hears a faint little, and then the puck's coming at him at lightning speed, and it's already in the net before he can react to it. And that's another major difference, is the sound. The sound. And if you go look at some of the videos that have been done on YouTube, Pavel Barber even says it. He's actually doing stick, and he goes, wow, I don't know. It sounds so weird. I don't even know if I get used to that sound. Well, you'll get used to it, but the goalies certainly won't, because the goalies use that as a point of reference for when that shot came off and when it's coming at them. And so when you don't hear it, imagine in an NHL game and there's, the fans are screaming and you can't even hear the puck come off. I think we have so many advantages. I literally feel like, this company is, and this is not, I'm gonna let Richard talk a little bit more, but we're not hockey sticks, okay? We're an innovative hockey technology company. We're not done coming out with innovation for this field. This is just the beginning of it. So Richard, you can tell them about where we're going next.
We have a number of products in research and development currently, especially a pair of custom fit carbon fiber skates, 100% carbon fiber skates with an incredible blade on them, shin pads, elbow pads, knee pads, gloves, all with something very different than what's out there. Something innovative, something lighter, something more protective. And what we hope to do is advance the game of hockey.
You talked about football helmets at the very beginning of this show. Do you have any R&D coming out with potentially concussive helmets or things? Because that's a big word. That's a big thing for a lot of parents getting involved in contact sports.
You'll like that.
Sure. That's why we're sitting there. We were actually having a couple of beers, and we started. I had my son's football helmet was sitting on the table, and we said, "Hey, let's build a better football helmet because of all those concussion injuries." But what we found is this material is so dense, it's so strong that it would cause more injuries and more concussions at the football level. Okay. But for as far as protecting for feet and knees and things like that, it's ideal. It's lightweight and stronger than steel.
So thank God that didn't work. That's what took them to this. But this material is actually the wrong. What you're looking for is something that absorbs the energy, right, not something that's so hard that it actually transfers the energy.
Well, like you said, like the stick blade made that that connection to me where it dulls out the sound. It's able to absorb that, which is why I was thinking. But like you said, carbon fibers are so strong and they're meant for protective gear, not for absorption. Exactly. And what happens to the head, and I've done a lot of research with concussions and post-concussion syndromes, where it is exactly the wrong fitting or the wrong polymer that is used in protecting the head and neck area. So you're right. I mean, with research and development comes a bit of a tangent. Robert Frost said, take the road less traveled, right? Which we've done. We found Aaron along the way. We've taken the diamonds. We've made him a man's best friend too. And now we've created this awe moment where your team TOVI hockey should be called Team Entourage. There's my fifth one. There you go.
Camouflage, entourage.
I love the show, but I'm saying if you had an entourage of players repping one stick, and I think that would be the TOVI entourage. It'd be just how you roll it.
Well, we can't wait for that. There's an article that you can read online right now in Sportico where Mark Recchi, three-time Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Famer, he's using our stick. And you can read right away what he says. He says, I'm so surprised at the control, the feel of the puck, and you don't even notice that it's got holes in it after you start playing with it. The other players are like, what the hell's that? But he understands, and we're hoping at some point to pull him and make him part of our entourage too. That'd
be fantastic because, like I said, I'm thrilled with this product. Outside of me trying it myself, I mean, the research is there. All of the anecdotes that are online and on YouTube and the videos that have been presented truly show the differences between the technology as well as the efficiency and just the improvement of the stick, like you said, going from a feel of a wood, but then the durability of carbon, and then taking both of them together and saying, here, this is what we've developed. We're taking the best of both worlds now. And we've created the Diamond Airblade stick called the Mirage, the Sabotage, the Barrage.
Correct.
We think we really have the future of ice hockey here, and the kids. It's like all the kids using an Apple iPhone. Yeah. All the kids once they start using this stick, they're going to use it all the way up. It's just that's the way it is. Once you get it in your hand, you start playing with it. You don't want to go back to the old solid foam core stick.
I remember my first aluminum stick with Gretzky's, the silver one. And my first carbon stick was the Carbone 2000. I don't know if that was the same one as the Airblade, but it was a fully one-piece, $250 stick. And I remember flex tests and standing on it and sitting on it as a kid. And I wouldn't dare do that with a $300 stick nowadays because I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah. Let's make sure we clarify, because Richard said we want to change ice hockey. We're changing all hockey. This stick is usable. One of the guys who's a shareholder of the company now, he actually does most of our R&D. He's a former USA hockey player, roller hockey player. I think how many time champion is he? I mean,
he's a 10-time champion.
10-time world champion. And all he uses is ours on the roller hockey court. And he has the best feel and the best shot out of that stick.
Yeah, I remember coaching in California, taking roller kids and bringing them to the ice and vice versa, and them having to change their sticks in between. They wouldn't have to do this anymore.
That's correct. And you use your same stick on both surfaces, and you know that you've got durability built in.
Yeah.
We give a 90-day warranty. A 90-day warranty. You know why? Because we're the strongest stick in the market, and we can.
You can do that, yeah. Is it in Canada right now? Is it in certain markets in Canada? Okay.
Well, we're selling online. Richard, go ahead. You can explain. Richard does most of our sales.
Yeah, we are available online, and we ship all over the world. Currently, we're not available retail in Canada. We have a few stores here in New England, and we're looking to be in, hopefully by Christmas time, be in Pure Hockey, which is the largest hockey retailer in North America. We've been working with them to get in their stores, but if you're in Canada, we ship USPS to avoid the clearing charges, and you can get a stick up there within 7 days.
And we have several reps now going like rink to rink in Canada and demoing the product at some trade show booths. Richard manages a whole team of sales reps now around the country, and several of them are in Canada. So hopefully at your local rink up there, one day you'll see our rep with a big TOVI logo. Go check out our sticks, take it on the ice, give it a whirl.
Absolutely. TOVIhockey.com is where you can find more research development, the story. The YouTube videos are directly connected with there as well. Don't take my word for it. Don't take these guys' word for it. Check out those videos because you'll be very impressed with their first understanding of what the stick does, but then secondly, how it improves their game and their handling. That is, you want that next level achievement. This is where you got to go. And furthermore, you want that extra bit of that one step up from the other player that you might be vying for that first line spot, this might get you there. I mean, and we're, like you said, we're not just talking hockey. We're talking ball hockey. We're talking every surface hockey, and just protective gear that's on its way, Richard. I think that's fantastic. I mean, there are so many ways to. We've seen so much research done on the importance of certain caps on shoulder blades and knee pads, and I've seen it all through the last 30 years of my existence playing this game. So truly an amazing product, and I think it's only the beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg, I think, gentlemen, that with more future to come.
We're excited and we're passionate about this sport, and we're looking forward to great things.
You'll be seeing more of the name TOVI hockey in hockey in the next few years.
It will be synonymous. I thank you, gentlemen, very much. Any last words you'd like to say before I say goodbye?
Richard?
Go get out there and get yourself a TOVI hockey stick, especially if you're a junior. You're going to love this stick. If you're a junior, if you're a young player, you're going to love this stick for sure. Best stick you'll ever own.
I'd just like to say thanks for giving us the opportunity to tell our story and demonstrate and show the technology that we really believe is going to change the entire game.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time as well here on the ice on Amateur Sports TV. Check out the show Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 as well. Coffee at Graham, Tuesday and Thursday, 10:30 mornings. Gentlemen, have a great rest of the week. Thank you again. Get out there, get some ice, find the TOVI rep, hit them up. Maybe challenge them to a name change or two or a name inclusion. I don't know. But so far, I got number 4 and 5. You got to take number 6. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thanks,
have a great rest of the day.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, buddy.